What is up, vinyl community? I hope everybody's doing well out there. I wanted to come and do a video, but change gears a little bit from the normal hard rock and heavy metal I show. And this is going to feature, you see it up in the title, the Budos Band. So the Budos Band are from Staten Island, New York, and they've been around since about 2005, and they've had anywhere from 8 to 11 different members in the band or in the recording studio. And they have this really interesting music. It's like an Afro-Soul, but it has this mix of 60s, 70s rock in it. When I first heard it, it blew me away. I thought, these guys are so cool. As soon as I played the first song, it like snapped me back to a different time and place. I felt like I was in some kind of like 70s Clint Eastwood cop movie, driving this giant 70s car with 12 feet of Detroit steel out in front of me, and the highway going by with these bad 70s font, credits flashing on the screen. It just felt cool. It's just great cruising music. And and at first it probably thought it'd be a little bit of a novelty, right? Oh, this is pretty neat. It's kind of cinematic. Okay, I get it. But you figure you'd get tired of it, and certainly not 5 albums in 15 years would still interest me. But I tell you, they just always mix it up, and they always bring a little new flavor to it. Whether it's a little bit of Latin in it, a little bit of this Middle Eastern when the organ plays, Latin when you hear the horns. But it's just this awesome blended mix, and they always seem to progress. Their previous album, Burnt Offering, had a lot of distorted guitar in it, and then the new album is just a blend of all of that. So they continue to evolve and interest me. I can play Budos Band just about any time, and it's a lot of fun. I have not got to see the Budos Band live, but hope to. They usually do limited tour dates. Did I say? And they are from New York. They're from Staten Island, if I forgot to mention that. So what I want to do is show all the 7 inches that they've released. So I've got all their 45s. And then I want to run through all of the LPs, a couple EPs that they have, and I'll end up with the new one and share some thoughts on that and show you guys that. So let's get some 45s. Don't show a lot of 45s. I've got some pretty cool ones here to show. So 2005, the Budos Band did Up From the South, and then TIBWF on the backside. I forget what that means. Something about being fashionable, and I forget what that means. But their intro into the world there with their first 7-inch single. The second one, let's see what we got here. So Ghost Walk is a really cool track, and I think, and the Proposition on the B-side. This is on the Daptone label. Get a look at that, or maybe I'll do a cutaway here. Daptone was Sharon Jones, the late Sharon Jones, also the late Charles Bradley, and other bands like that. So outstanding label that offers just incredible music that you just don't hear these days. This one was the Budos theme on one side, with the B-side being Poets of Rhythm. This happened to release in the UK as a promotional only, getting the Budos Band out there across the ocean. And let's see what this one is. So this one's pretty cool. I just mentioned Sharon Jones. This is a cover of Sharon Jones and the Dap King Money. That is not a Pink Floyd cover. But on the A side is Day Tripper, which is in fact a Beatles cover, and then we have the blue Daptone label there. If that's a little too dark, I will do a cutaway picture. This one is pretty cool. This is Hidden Hand on one side. It's a promotional only copy, and then it has Cacao or Cacao on the B side, and I believe that is a non-album track. This one released not too long ago. I love the Budos Band stamp here on the top right of the sleeve. But this has Seizure and Burnt Offering. Burnt Offering is a killer track, and we're starting to get into their newer material. Which one is this? So Magus Mountain. If you don't listen to any other Budos Band songs, give this one a try. Magus Mountain. I just love that it has all of the elements. They're highly evolved from their early stuff, with Vertigo on the B-side, and I believe Vertigo, I don't think it's on any of their albums. This one is the same track, or no, this one is Avalanche with Maelstrom. You got Maelstrom is on the brand new album, so you were able to listen to this 3 years before it came out, and this one happens to be on like a yellow and green marble mix. And then the last one I have here is the same 7-inch, only on the black vinyl. So that wraps up the 7 inches for Budos Band. I'll go ahead and get into the albums here. Just check out these covers. The first album is really straightforward Budos Band. I would say reminiscent of like early cinematic funk with a little bit of disco touch. Very simple kind of cover, not a gatefold, paste over on the back, kind of has a retro look, retro feel. I mean, look at the back of it. It even has that retro 60s look to it. And I think they were starting out with about 11 people on the band here. And then this is just on a standard black Daptone label. It's one of my favorite covers. I often have this framed in the office with the scorpion on it. I feel like with the second album, they're really starting to flex and have a little bit of fun. Got some really good grooves and trumpets and breakdowns. The organ exploring a little bit. Really getting into their own sound. But they really started to like raise eyebrows when you started hearing things like Chicago Falcon, or Budos Rising. Really good album all the way through. Then they released this EP. This has Mas o Menos on it again. The Proposition, Hidden Hand, which was on the single. I thought one of these tracks may have not been on an album, but this does play on 45 RPM. Another killer album cover, but still sticking with the theme. I believe this is a Budos castle somewhere in France. I'm not sure. But you got the really cool cobra on the front there. Rite of the Ancients is a killer song. Black Venom, killer. This really starts to break it open for me here with the third album. These are really good slab here. If you want to start out with the Budos Band, I start with that one. And then taking a little bit of an extreme turn, and then also all of a sudden the cover gets a lot more artwork on it. It starts which very cool artwork, definitely suits the music. But they go to a gatefold cover. You got the guys in the band here on the inside. Tracks like Into the Fog are really cool. Burnt Offering, which was on the 7-inch, and then Magus Mountain. Like I said, start off with that song, and you'll get a really good taste of what the Budos Band is about. They also released, and it's the first time they did this too, it's like, why not? They released a different version with an all-black cover, and then the gatefold is actually the outside of that, which is kind of neat. And then they got the guys on the back here. I don't think it was color. Oh, yes, it was. And then it was on this really awesome marble, which is really cool. I'll do a cutaway there if it doesn't show up real well. And then for Record Store Day on 2015, they released this single. I gotta check out what it is, remind myself. Avalanche, there's a melody on here. Can't pronounce that. But this was live, I believe, in North Carolina. It might have been Asheville. Oh, here it is. Gray Eagle, Halloween 2015. And on the B-side, it is etched, which kind of makes it look like the elders of the Budos Band there, etched in vinyl. Then, that brings me to the newest release. Just arrived in the mail today. The hype sticker reads, limited color vinyl. The Budos Band's fifth full-length is raw, visceral assault through which they continue to explore their love for super heavy, ethio-tinged riffs and neck-snapping, skull-fracturing rhythms. Think Black Sabbath on a holiday in Addis Ababa. Includes MP3 digital down card. I didn't see that, must have fell out. And then the cover is going back to more of a simplistic, this almost feels like a silk screen. It just has this kind of a texture to it, and you can feel the ink on it. Hopefully I'm not making fingerprints, but they released old engine oil, which you can go sample on YouTube right now. And then, like I said, Maelstrom ended up on this album when you could listen to it on the single up to about 3 years ago. Awesome. Check out the Budos Band. I've got to get this on the turntable for a second spin. Oh, I got the, if you pre-ordered it, you also got the second time they did a color vinyl release with red and black swirl. So that's the Budos Band Discography 7-inch. So got some 7-inches out there, guys, some 45s, and their LPs. Check them out if you dig them. Give me a thumbs up, make some comments below. If you've seen them live, leave a comment. If you plan on seeing them or pick up the new album, let me know. Rock on. Why did I say rock on? Never said that before. And one of the things I forgot to mention was that they do record to all analog tape and they share microphones. So that's kind of one of their tricks to getting that sound.